I'm with Marshall Tyson today. Marshall, thanks for taking a few moments to share with us. I know that basketball has been a part of your life. Would you share a little bit about what role basketball has had in your life?
Wow. Basketball for a period of time in my life was, without calling it Jesus, not saying that, but it was kind of that way for me. I had nothing. My parents were on drugs. I didn't have, school was very difficult for me. So most of my life, all I did was play basketball. And it was the only thing that I was good at. So it validated me. It gave me a sense of purpose, idea of an identity to the people I was around. And it was a way for me to blow off steam and deal with my life issues. So it was, in a sense, for a long time, it was my savior, or saving grace, until I came to the knowledge of Christ. But my basketball led me to Christ, going to a church, Nazarene church in Columbus, which led me to understand who Christ was, and was able to separate and make it clear that nothing was ever going to take Christ's place in my life. So, but it led me to Christ. It was something that kept me safe in a very difficult time in my life.
Take a moment and then expand a little bit about how basketball impacted your faith and that journey to faith.
Well, when you live in a drug-addicted home, you go through so many different emotions, you're struggling. And so when I found this church, I couldn't relate to a lot of the stuff they were talking about spiritually, but everything I could relate to was basketball-wise. So there was a guy there named Mike Presley who really helped me understand that he never pushed anything. He just showed me what it was like to be a Christian. And in that, he taught me a work ethic. He taught me how to have passion and desire for different things. And in the process, not knowing that God was literally showing me how I was going to be able to help people. I played point guard, so my job was always to be a part of the team, making sure the team functions a certain way. And so not realizing that God was using that one day to be in ministry, to be able to keep a team focused and help each other and lift each other up, be encouraging, and always try to know what's going on, seeing the big picture at all times. And like I said, when you're going through so much stuff at home, it was a way to teach me how to get alone, think about life, process what's going on, which I didn't realize at the time would carry over to my Christian walk. There's so many times in my life now that I have to shut up and be still and let God be God, and just relax and let life kind of flow according to His will. And so basketball was an awesome way to get me to see how God can operate, and had no clue that that's what it was. But what He did in the process, He took my passion for basketball and put it to Him and His people. So it was definitely a blessing. It was kind of like the whole Karate Kid philosophy. You had no clue that you're learning things. You're painting the fence and wax on, wax off, but He's really teaching me really what's going on in life and not realizing it. So it was an awesome.
And can you articulate like the moment where your faith really began?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was just dealing with the loss of my mother, and I wanted to play basketball, but I knew with no education, and where I dropped out of high school and no job, none of those things were going to be possible. And so right after losing my mother, me and my cousin were talking, and we just decided we need to do something with our lives. And I remember I've been going to this church. I never believed what they believed. So finally one day, I just said, you know what, I'm going to pray. I'm going to ask Christ into my heart. And I'm just going to follow Him no matter what. If He helps me through what I'm going through, I'll just follow Him. And He did. He answered. And He answered in such a mighty way that He gave me a peace that passed all understanding. I didn't know how I was okay. I didn't realize it, but I just felt in my life, in my heart, I was okay. When I accepted Him, it was just like everything that I could do for basketball, I could do twice as much for Him. And so He just showed me how to transfer that passion, and He showed me by how much He loved me and how He came to me in a moment of literally I was at the end of my rope. I didn't know what else to do. And I never thought about killing myself or anything like that, but I was just at a place where I needed hope. And He provided that. Not only did He provide hope, He provided me with a desire for His will. So
And how does your faith impact your daily life today?
Well, losing a parent to drugs, one of the things that is, I realized that life is short and eternity is forever, and wherever they spend that matters. So I now know, losing my mother, not knowing if anybody ever shared the gospel with her, to set a fire in me to say, any and everybody has to know. Every day I try to find something or do something or be a part of something that can impact somebody's life where they can know Christ. Or if I can't speak to somebody, times just driving and being in prayer. It's just amazing how my life for so many years was so focused on just the world and everything else to now. My day is not complete unless there has to be a conversation with Christ. Or there has to be quiet time where he just does some ministering to me. Or just sharing with other ministers, other Christians, other believers, being around them, having conversations that don't involve the worldly things, It's amazing how those things start to stand out more and more every single day. So that's huge for me.
You're involved in ministry and specifically ministering to young adults. And how challenging is that today, or what does that look like? Or
it's ministry to me wholeheartedly, and I'm not calling it a job, but if we have to put in that category, it's the hardest job on the planet. You have to sell something that people can't touch, can't feel, can't see. It's not tangible to a lot of people, and you sell hope in a lot of ways to people who are hopeless. It's very difficult, and to get people to realize it's not your will, it's his will, to die to self and allow him to be in you. It's the toughest thing in the world. And you feel like no one. You feel like God is saying, all right, I need you to build this ark, and nobody understands what it is. And even your closest people to your family, loved ones, friends, no one may understand what God has put in your heart. So sometimes you feel like you're the only one with this mission, and you're the only one with this passion, and you just kind of feel like, all right, God, are you sure it's me to do this job? I mean, you feel so unworthy at times. And then I just come back to the place when I look at the fact that he died on the cross, and I was a thought. It's enough for me to say, well, I guess it is me. I meant that much to you to do that, then it obviously, at this point, it doesn't make a difference how everybody else feels. When you came to me and said you'd help me, my words to you were, you saved me, I'll do anything. He did his job, so it's my part of the job to do the anything. So, but it is, especially with young kids, they got so much pressure. Social media, friends, family, so many broken homes. It's hard to sell hope to somebody who has to go home to garbage.
Well, thanks for sharing your story with us and telling us a little bit about what your faith looks like and how it drives you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.